why should we put a value on developing positive culture in our businesses?
Well, this is your third very simple question that's really hard to answer, so well done. When I think about culture, culture, well, first, before you think of what culture is, you think about what mythologies are. And mythologies, in the technical sense, is a belief that a particular behaviour demonstrates positive or negative values in your team or your workplace. So, it doesn't mean it's true and it doesn't mean it's proven, but there's this real belief that if you do X, Y happens in the workplace. So, a negative value would be, if I tell the boss that we've got some rejects, I'm going to lose my job.
Mm-hmm.
That's a mythology. You don't know for sure that you're going to lose your job, but everyone believes it.
On the other side, for the boss, if I don't have all the answers, that's a negative.
Yes, I look weak is probably how they internalise that.
Yeah.
So, you've got the positive mythologies as well. Positive mythology might be, if I am a good performer over 12 months, I'll get a 2% pay rise. There's this, if I do well, then I get a reward. So a culture is formed when a group of people come together and have those same shared mythologies. You don't usually have a culture if we don't all believe the same stuff. So if you put a bunch of, using a West Australian example, FMG, BHP and Rio leaders in a room, they wouldn't form a culture because they don't all believe in the same style of leadership. Okay. But, that culture is formed when we share a number of those mythologies. So, the work of a leader, we've perhaps touched on this before, is to create, maintain and improve a group of people to achieve some objectives and then continue to achieve them. So when you add all those together, why put a value on positive culture? Well, a leader's job is to create a productive culture to maintain and improve the group of people to deliver and achieve objectives now and into the future. That culture is formed by a number of mythologies, things we all believe, positive or negative, which may or may not be proven, but we all believe them. So, what you're trying to do as a leader is take things that are productive and keep them in your culture, take things that are counterproductive and stop doing them. So, systems, when you think of the systems, the symbols and the behaviours, they're a part of all of this. The system of me dismissing you for making a mistake is a system. And those systems usually have that XY matrix again. Along one axis, a system can be productive or it can be counterproductive. And a system can be authorised or it can be unauthorised. So you end up with things like an unauthorised or unproductive system, which would be stealing or timesheet fraud. They're the first system that you punt, using a good AFL reference there. So you do not want unauthorised and unproductive systems as part of your culture because they create immediate negative mythologies. I can fraud my timesheet and I won't get caught. Now you can have productive and unauthorised systems. So these are things that are good, but no one's ever said that you are meant to do them that way. And a good example of that might be something that an inspection, a QA step at the end of your production line, where someone just pushes the go button and sees if it starts. And if it does start, it goes into the shipping bay. And if it doesn't start, it goes into the rework bay. It's not part of the value stream map, but it saves 50% of your errors getting out into the customers. your objective there is to turn them from unauthorized systems to authorized systems. I don't need to hide from the boss that I'm doing this great step because the boss is going to be outraged about the waste. I can show the boss that there is this waste and we've got a containment, but we have to come up with a countermeasure to stop the waste getting to this last step.
So that's putting a value on the, potential and creativity of those people doing the work, and then, which would lead to productive, authorized systems.
And you're changing the mythology that you don't need to do skunk works to get things approved. You can actually give it a legitimate go, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, well, we'll try something else. That's the positive thing. So although unauthorized productive systems are productive, it can speak to some negative in your culture as well. Then you have unproductive authorized systems, which are established ways that we do stuff that just don't add any value. And if you're looking for the wheelhouse of lean, it's probably there. Things that we always say we'll do, and we'll always do them that way, and they're complete garbage. And Daniel and you would bring out the value stream map as one example at that point. Why are we doing that non-value added step? How about we do it this way? Now it's gone. But, we've always done it that way is perhaps the mythology that one speaks to. And it can be quite troubling when you see it in a safety sense. We've always done it that way, but that's not a safe way, but we've always done it that way. And safety is always a good one to consider with those authorized unproductive systems and how to create the cognitive dissonance to change it. Now you've got the ideal, which is the authorized and productive. And with those, that's where you're hoping that when you're designing your company's culture or changing your company's culture, that you've got a good correlation between what you wanted and what you've got. So the authorized productive systems were the ones that you wanted to see when you started. So, what's the real value out of all of that? Well, if you can move from 5% to 10% value add in your process, you could potentially double your free cash flow or double your productive output for almost no investment other than the leadership time to shape the culture and strip out 5 or 10% of the waste. So, doing the work of a leader is going to create a positive culture deliberately rather than accidentally, and that's going to shake actual hard cash out of almost any business on the planet. So, was that a very long way of answering your very simple question?
No, that was good. Very interesting.
Our business has mythologies, things we believe. That those mythologies create a culture, which is the things that we're experiencing. The leader's role is to create a productive culture where we achieve our objectives today and continue to do so into the future. We do this by looking at the systems, the symbols, and the behaviors. With the systems, we pivot from the unauthorized, unproductive systems getting the punt, the authorized, unproductive systems getting some stern, lean, or safety focus. The unauthorized, productive systems becoming legitimate, and the authorized, productive systems matching the desired new culture that we're looking for.
So there's so much, the leader's the leader for a reason.
We pay the leader a bit more to do this much more complex work. Yeah. So, when you think about that out loud, it does talk to a lot of what some business leaders do, which is promote the best electrician to be the leading hand in the superintendent. That may be an absolutely counterproductive mythology to have in your business. The best leader may be someone who has a fair idea of how to get the best out of people rather than being the best technical expert.